Thank you for being here today with me and with all of us here. The main goal, I don't know if you were here looking at the keynote from Nokia side, but we are really here to try to explain and bring you even more ideas and use cases that are coming from the networks and the data set that those operators are having together. I must say it's very rare to have three operators sitting together on the same stage, discussing the same topic, not seeing each other as competitors. So big applause to that, please. It was And I'm very happy to have Nokia on the side with me and that we can elaborate on our partnership more. So the main, let's say, discussion, I would like to start them to explain through of the use cases that they are bringing, of course, each of them separately, but all together in order to have the proper market share and to be easy for you developers to use it. But when we are talking about the communication between your application and the end users, consumers, usually it's happening on the mobile device. So Cedric, what do you think, what is the identifier in this digital world today? Is it our national ID?
Yeah, today most of the identification is relying on the MSI SDN or the number because it's a universal way of identifying someone and a user for its specific use case, especially in the mobile world. And it's this MISDN is making the link from the SIM card between the contract with the telco, the users, and the device. So thanks to this, you can get some different information from for different purposes, like device status, SIM swap status, the SIM status, or the user itself, and how long he has this number. And if you want to do KYC or these kind of things, this number is also the unique way telco are referencing their customers. So all the telco IT systems are relying fundamentally on this MSISDN number. So if you have this key to enter to the database and to get access to the information, it's really an entry for plenty of information thanks to this unique key.
Yeah, I more than agree, but I think that MSISDN is as well unique information for application and developers, because when we are registering to some application, what we need to leave as our identifier is our MSISDN. So, and this is how you communicate with your end users and consumers, sending the messages to MSISDN. But then on the other side, the mobile network operators are the one who is having the agreement with that MSISDN and are storing the plenty of data about that MSISDN. So they are the one who can really validate that this is the user that is pretending or just having the session with that application. So Cedric mentioned identifier as MSISDN, but Noel, from your side, what other attributes are very important for the fraud prevention, for any other, let's say, use cases that you think could be interesting for the developers that are sitting here?
Yeah, so I want to explain two use cases. The first one is, I guess everybody's knowing OTP SMS. So you're getting SMS with a number in it, which you need to put in your device to get registered. So two-factor authentication and all of this. And a lot of fraud is happening in this area to get out these numbers from the device, maybe over a SIM swap and all of this. And what we can do is more or less with new APIs like number verify, some call them also silent authentication. We as a telco are providing more or less information, making sure that the device is really the device which it belongs to be, without putting any SMS in it, because we knowing from which device the request is coming, and we know even the MSISDN and can verify that the request is coming from the device and from the phone number. So it's really smooth. And it's even for the user experience better because you don't be interrupted by putting in a number. So another example is, like you explained, we have the MSISDN in a lot of cases as the unique identification. So, and I don't know, people switching their numbers sometimes. So maybe every 3, 4, 5, 6 years. And how do we find out as developers? So for this, we have something like 10-year or number recycling APIs, where we maybe can set up subscriptions towards this as a developer, and we get directly informed if there was a change in the contract owner. So we directly knowing, okay, this person is not longer this person I think it is. Maybe now another person is behind this, so I better should not send like package tracking information to this number anymore, or even remind him, please change your number to register in, because it will be maybe in 2 days you cannot register anymore and we will block you or something like this. So it's really at another level of security, and even for contacting, right? So for marketing, it really makes sense to have always the actual phone number and always the actual unique identifier.
Yeah, I agree completely. But the thing is, if, for example, some number is new one and it's like live for a few days, you don't trust that number anymore that much, as if you compare it to some number which is for yours, the subscriber of the MSIs, of the mobile network operators, meaning paying their bills regularly, etc. But if we talk, these are the data set that are like more or less like static ones sitting in the database, and you have let's say more like a trust scoring on it. But what about, Fernando, about the location that the subscribers can change? And then what are the use cases that you can mention about the, let's say, this is the dynamic, for sure, the dynamic data that you can provide about your subscriber, and why this is so important? What is the use case that you think could be relevant?
There's an API here called device location, which I think is super interesting, and it's actually two APIs. So the first one would be device location verification, which will allow you to verify information you already know. So just making sure it's true or false. So this is an example that came up this morning in your talk, but it's fairly simple. So if you're in front of an ATM and you want to get money out, the bank knows your information and can see if you're actually there. Maybe not in the exact location, but around the ATM to know if actually you're the one putting money out. So imagine I'm trying to get money out of an ATM here, but actually I'm back in Madrid. Well, that will stop the transaction automatically. But then there's another flavor of this, which is a bit different, which is called geofencing. So geofencing will allow you, as a developer, to set an area where you want certain activity to occur, and then you can just program that activity against your clients. Obviously, you'll need to have you'll need to get access from your developers, from your clients to do this, but basically you'll be able to do lots of commercial things around this. You can, I don't know, I have kids, and maybe I'm not thinking of commercial examples like a shop that can offer certain things to a customer when he comes around where the shop is. But maybe you want to know where your kids are, or not where your kids are, but when they arrive to the place you want them to be. And the cool thing about location from a telco point of view is that it's really, really difficult to tamper with. So I don't know if you know, but GPS signal is something fairly simple to tamper with, but when the information comes from more than one antenna, it's fairly difficult. I won't ever say it's impossible, because in a digital space that's not the case, but much more difficult to hack.
Yeah. I mean, these are the super cool use cases and the APIs that the operators can provide. Of course, this is not everything. They're coming every day with something new, and I'm learning every day, and you will learn for sure more from today than forward, because we will be present with your community for sure more and more. But you can be on during your keynote, you, apart from other use cases that we as well mentioned today already, but you talked a lot about this quality on demand, network as a code, and you showcase together with Croatia Telecom and Infobip this super cool driving from the Zadar to the car to Finland that we almost crashed, but we survived at the end. But what else? I mean, it's not just the driving a car. What else? What other use cases that you can maybe talk about in front of the developers that they can really come from consuming this like 5G capacity of the network, which is really cool, becoming really interesting in today's world. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Just so that we are all on the same page. So we took authorization from Liron. He's not driving anymore. Just so that, just for the safety of everyone in Espoo, in Finland. So that was one of the demonstration of some of the enablers. When you have a mission critical process as part of an enterprise, you need to rely, the connectivity and the capabilities of the network are essential part of the delivery of your process or whatever you're doing. So you have to rely on that. The quality of service on demand will be part of such mission critical capabilities going forward, because there's no other way to do it. We have also demonstrated earlier, actually, was like last year with Noel and his team flying drones from Belgium in Deutsche Telekom's network in Germany. Again, it's not possible. The authorities will not allow beyond visual line of sight unless you can guarantee that this drone will always be able to be controlled by someone, or at least in an autonomous way, land safely. So there are a range of use cases that will come up that I can't invent. But what is really essential, what we are all talking about here, is that we open up those capabilities to developers around under the developers' terms, because we have tried to do it under our own terms. We have tried to open up APIs. I mean, I know how many people know here have heard of 3GPP. It's a very big thing for us in telco world. They specify, there is a full specification with APIs there. Go and read them, and you give the feedback to those who write. You will not understand anything about what those APIs does, because you are used to go and get the right codes and the documentation and hear from other experts in one click, and not go and read through those. That's the journey we are all in here, so that we can really super simplify that. And then those really cool use cases will come from all of you around.
Yeah, that's why we need you for sure from now on to come with the use cases, with the ideas about. Tomorrow we are having this ideathon afternoon around 3 or something like that, where you can participate and really create some ideas. Of course, the judges will be there. The first one will get the really cool Lego set. I already applied for that, but I hope that someone will have a better idea than I'm having, really. But the thing is, okay, the operators are here, the main one, the giant one from Europe. The rest as well are following them. But what is InfoBip role here? What we are doing at the end? I mean, we have all of them creating the same APIs, creating the same use cases, but it's really not easy to sign agreement with each of the operators separately. Believe me, we did that. It's a very painful process.
Been there.
I've been there, done that. So we are doing and removing that complexity as well from your side. So you, as a developer, are having InfoBip or any other partner there that is exposing APIs. So we are the one removing that complexity that we are just mentioning in the title of this session, and bringing you simplicity. So we are having just one single APIs that is reaching all the operators in Europe and in other regions as well. But of course, we are here in the European conference. That's why I'm mentioning Europe constantly. So these operators, they all sign agreement with InfoBip. We are integrated with them and exposing to you just one single API. You don't need, when you are sending requests, you don't need to know if this MSSDN that you're asking for, some of these use cases, is belonging to Deutsche Telekom, to Orange or Telefonica. You don't need to have this discovery, or however you want to call it. You just send request, simple one. You saw the idea how it's working in a keynote from Nokia, so it's very easy to be consumed. We forward it to Deutsche Telekom, Orange and Telefonica or others, and send your reply back. And it's so super easy. And we already have some use cases that are live. We are continuous to grow, and you will be there as well. But I didn't mention Open Gateway Camara. This is a new initiative that is starting maybe a year ago, something like that. We are already talking a lot about it. But what is Nokia role in Open Gateway and Camara? What that means for you, Skambin?
Yes. So first of all, I think just to explain for those who are not skilled in telco world, I think telecom relies a lot on the standards generally. Like there's no other way to ensure interoperability, that you go from Finland to Fiji and your phone works. It relies on standards. So for us, standards makes it possible to interoperate, and therefore it's our natural tendency to go and create new standards when we face a problem. In case of GSMA actually realized that they have to bring together the operators around one mission to make and open up the networks and make them available to developers, and then make it available in a way that typically developers are used to, and that the best way to do it, create an open source project. Linux Foundation hosts this open source project that we call Camara, where you can actually yourself also go sign up and contribute to that. We are one of the contributors, just like with everyone else here. And we believe that is a necessary step to make the harmonization of the capabilities on a global scale. It helps scaling up, but it's not sufficient, as I've said it also earlier. It's a necessary but not sufficient condition to make to make it global and open, that other condition requires a very close collaboration by everyone who is here and not here in this room as well, and around this journey that we are in together.
I mean, I hope that all of you agree it's really true, and thank you, Shkambin. It's really like something that we all contributed together and try to create a healthy ecosystem on a standard way. But now we have developers here to get together with that. So what do you think, what is the main driver for them? How we will convince them to start to use those APIs?
So maybe start with this. So maybe the APIs can improve current use cases. So maybe just take an example of the location use case. So right now, just taking a weather app. So you asked for GPS location. GPS is costing battery a lot. You can use also the location API from Deutsche Telekom. It's not, or some other telcos. Yeah. It's not like so accurate like GPS, but do you need accurate better location for weather data? I don't think so. So you can use this, then you have maybe a radius from 500 meters and can use this, and you don't need any GPS. You just need the phone connection, so you can save battery. And there are a lot of other use cases. Maybe you don't need to implement like GPS chips into like an IoT device or something like this. And so there we can improve current use cases. On the other side, we can maybe bring new use cases, like we saw this quality on demand use case. So right now, this is a stadium. If it's full, maybe the connectivity is not so good and you want to make, I don't know, augmented reality, like the nice ice hockey use case you have there in Finland. There you maybe have glasses and want to see some more stats, or put out your phone to see some overlays or something like this. So this can be improved by quality on demand. But yeah, so we have both sides. We can improve current use cases because we knowing where the device is, we knowing if the device is connected or not, and this directly. So we can also inform developers directly. The device is losing connection maybe in 1 minute because it's leaving the area. So even before the device is losing the connection. So you can set up everything, maybe do some preloads or say the customer, okay, or yeah, reduce the quality and all of this. Or we can improve customer use cases, improve fraud prevention and all of this. So it's a lot of different areas where developers can participate in and make things better, hopefully.
A lot of different areas, I agree. And I think that we still didn't discover all the areas that those APIs can really bring the benefit to. And the new will come. But we discussed a lot of different APIs, we discussed a lot of different use cases. But Cedric, what is the first step that developers should do? Like, okay, we discussed this. They now have some feelings, maybe still not knowledge what we are talking about, but what is the first step?
First step is to brainstorm a good ideas and to have a use case. If you remember 17 years ago when Apple launched a smartphone, the first smartphone, and so you had Apple and Android, so they bring up on the market a new tool which was a smartphone, but also a developing community, so everybody was able to develop on this platform. So we are trying to do the same to standardize a kind of platform where open to developers. And what makes the richest of this ecosystem is what all the good ideas and development done by the developers, not the initial ecosystem, which is just a support for those brand new ideas, and everything is to be discovered in the futures. So the first thing to do is to have good ideas, to think about different use cases we don't imagine yet, and to develop them and to make it on the market to make it successful, because this is what will bring the adoption by the end users and by the overall community of the companies who will need to use these APIs. And the simpler it will be between us, the better. And as you mentioned at the beginning, what is good is that we are not competing operators. It will work well if we succeed together. We will succeed together or we will fail together in that case. Because there is no question of competing. We all have our base of users, and we have to provide to the developers the full reach of our end users to make it happen. Because you don't want to think about, is it an Orange, is it a Deutsche Telekom, is it a Telefonica? We just want to access the users. So if together we work properly, thanks to the standards, Camera, Open Gateway Initiative, thanks to aggregators like Infobip who are providing a single point of contact to address all the users, we will be successful because you will have easy access to the whole connectivity of the all users. So you just have to start to code.
So we want these APIs to become let's say, very much into the every process in digital world. This is our aim, at least mine, being here for some years, and I see a lot of benefits. But Fernando, from your side, what do you think it's really needed this to happen? like, okay, we are already working for some time, and we have some proofs, some cons, something we are doing better than last year, etc. But what is your thought? What do you think we all need to do in order this to be in almost every process in digital area?
Okay, so when I was listening to all of you, I mean, the center point here is the developers, and there's something that probably you don't know about me, but I worked for many years for Microsoft. Many years. I'm not going to say how many, because then you'll know exactly how dreadfully old I am.
You started 5 years ago, right?
No. Loads of years ago. So, and every time I think of this project and what's missing and how can we take it to the next level, I always remember Steve Ballmer. I don't know. I mean, I see lots of young faces who probably don't know this, but Steve Ballmer stood up in front of a huge crowd and just ran from top to bottom, just shouting, developers, 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 developers. And he was sweating. We all thought he was going to die there. But that's what we need. I mean, everything we are doing as obviously telcos, but also as the integrators like Infobip, is making it easy for you guys to just think and develop and do whatever you think that you want to do. And to be honest, we've just started, so this is a new initiative, but we're already getting there. So there's like 24 APIs in Camara in the standard. There's 44 telcos already up and running and working. We're already in like 22 countries. Obviously, if we want to be really global, we do have to keep on pushing. And as Derek was saying, we're not competing. We're just trying to all be there and all have the same APIs so that you guys can develop and test and forget about if your customer is in one side or another or uses any telco. And this is super important for us to get you guys engaged. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things there's a lot of things that we still have to do. But we're working on it and just remove all the complexity so that you guys can test it out. And yeah, we need you guys there.
I hope that you as well surprised, because I heard previously that developers that are participating in this conference, usually when we are talking about the telecommunication providers, they are saying, oh, those guys, boring one, which are selling the packages or something like that. They just want to terminate or sign another agreement with us to take money. But I think that this time we really, at least I hope we learned, we teach you something, that the telecom providers are not just telecom providers with the data packages, but the one that are transforming to technological giants, the one that are having something to show and to offer to help you with your application, with the communication that you are achieving with your end subscribers, your end clients, to be able to secure those communication, to remove the fraudster actions, and of course to be sure that this communication that you want to be delivered for sure in a real-time manner. I don't know, any last thoughts or something that you want to share, or if there are some questions we would like to hear or answer. But apart from this panel and a keynote that we just had, we have a workshop, Ideaton, that I just mentioned, that will be tomorrow. If you are very shy to ask the question right now, you have Infobip booth, you have Nokia booth. On Nokia booth, by the way, you have Super Googles where you can see the virtual reality, how this network as a code is really working. And it is really fun activity, so you can go there and try it. And of course, there is a booth from all initiative, as I stated, they are not competing. They have the whole booth all together, Deutsche Telekom, Orange, Telefonica, and GSMA. So you can go in there and ask all these questions and try to learn some new fancy stuff, which are becoming reality, not future anymore. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of the sessions.